Good morning, everybody. It's Michael Laidler here on this beautiful Saturday morning, which is July 21st, 2018. And I'm welcoming you to another episode of Meet Our Community in the Leadership Inner Circle, where I interview members of our community in order for them to explain who they are. And if you have any questions, ask them. Because the whole point of what we do now is learning. Our job is to collaborate. Our job is to spread a message. Our job is to spread leadership and communication development. And this is one out of many platforms that I use in order to utilize some of those skills of others. Today we have one of our guests calling from Greece. I think he's the first time we ever had anybody from Greece so far. And with that, I'm not going to delay his appearance so you guys can hear more about him. You guys give me 1 second. Let me bring him up. Morning, John. How you doing today?
Good morning, Michael. I'm fine. And you?
I'm great.
Well, it isn't morning here in Greece. It's afternoon.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, it's 8 o'clock here in Louisiana. What time is it there?
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
4 o'clock in the afternoon.
In a very warm summer Greek day.
So if we had this interview at 8 p.m. at night, it would be pretty early in your morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, explain to us, what is a sales and productivity trainer?
Well, Michael, I was a professional salesperson for a long time, starting from 1999 when I went out for business on my own. I used to be an insurance salesman, and then I transferred over to commodities. And I worked there for a long time, and I realized that the main problem of the Greek market, as far as I could tell, was sales training. People couldn't find experienced, trained salespeople. And so I thought that it was a market gap there, and I started teaching people about what I did every single day on the road, because I was door-to-door salesman and a business-to-business salesman. And people started following me, people started listening to what I had to say, and business grew up. And then productivity is very, very, very intertwined with sales. Productivity is something that if you don't have it, you can work on anything, not on sales, not on marketing, not on anything. You gotta find ways to be productive. Because today, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Absolutely. I was just saying, looking at your profile, it says that you used to be a formal martial arts teacher. How does that translate to what you do now?
I used to teach Kung Fu for 15 years. I had a black belt, and I started teaching it as a side gig. I had my own schools with people. And I taught about from 1999 to 2014, when I became only a judge. I gave the keys to my martial arts school to my student. And this transferred very well to sales and productivity, because I was very disciplined at what I did. Okay, and I learned to overcome psychological barriers like fear. The fear of the cold call, the fear of meeting a new person and trying to establish trust with him. And I learned to hack my brain and not think about fear so much.
So one of the words you said that stood out was discipline. Like, how have you, if you could say one thing that you can remember doing with discipline, how is that translated once you got into that sales and productivity training role? How has discipline really shaped your life?
Discipline is something that followed me around from very early age. I used to be a football player, soccer player, you see, in the United States, and they taught us very well, because if you didn't go on training on time, you wouldn't play. Okay. So I started to be very disciplined in everything, in my training, in my personal training. In sales, what it did, it gave me the opportunity to go out. Salespeople don't want to go out. They are not disciplined at that. They stay in the office. They don't make the phone calls. They hang out by the water cooler, and it gave me the disciplines to do things I didn't want to do in order to get things I wanted to get.
It's funny you said, something I was listening to the other day was kind of talking about getting out when you're making sales, actually getting out with people rather than just sending emails or just doing like Facebook ads. So how has like that transition, like how have you seen your sales increase when you actually go out and call people, or you go out and meet them for coffee, or you go to their office? Like, how has that increased your profitability?
I found it was the best way to establish trust, be person to person with somebody, and it was the easiest way for me to convey my message. Plus, it was very easy for me to find the decision maker this way. It was that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But when you insist, when you go through the gatekeepers in person, when you do that, that translates into revenue. That translates into revenue. Getting in front of the decision maker as much as possible. As much as possible. So you can do that. You can do that by the phone. And to tell you the truth, now I'm working mostly on Skype training and doing things like you are doing right now from Skype, and selling from the phone. But I had to build a network of people for 15 years in order to get to that point. So it took me about 10 to 15 years of person to person, going out every day with 10 business cards in my pocket and not go back to the office until I meet 10 new people. And so I built a network of people, and now business comes to me. And I think that's the most important thing. You have to invest in going out and talking to people every single day. Every single day.
And John, I think you hit that on the head, because one of my marketing coaches, she was telling me the same thing. She says, whenever I go to a networking event, make sure I take business cards. So that's one plus, but meet 10 people. Introduce yourself, because in all honesty, even at these big networking events, you're not really going to be able to build much bigger relationships. So just handing cards and walking hand in cards isn't really going to really promote your brand, promote what you're selling. You have to actually sit there and talk to them for a few minutes. And just given reality, you have to be out there just spending a few minutes with those people. So going out every day and just rinsing and repeating is something that a lot of people don't train anymore. It's because a lot of people say, well, just come on social media, just post something, or people will come to you. But traditionally, and it's been done for centuries, people are out going door to door, so to speak. They're going out meeting people, because 9 times out of 10, the decision makers really aren't on social media, so to speak.
Exactly.
So you have to get out and go do that, to go meet them where they're at. And I think that's great advice, John. So, like, how has this business, how has learning some of these skills transformed your life?
It was amazing, because first of all, I started on a personal development journey, which I'm sure you know about. You are on the same path too. And that translated in everything. I started to be better on my family, my hobbies, started to learn new things, started to invest my time in ways that will benefit me and my family. And of course my business. Okay, it's really important. So being on that journey of self-discovery and self-development has led me to many paths, and has made me, strive every day to be better. I'm still learning things. I always have that feeling that I'm just beginning. I always have that feeling. Then I just got out on the road, and I'm just beginning on this trip of self-development. I always think that there are so many things I want to try out and learn. I want to start bullet journaling now. I want to do so many things that my life is about creativity. You have to build your day around creativity and not just react to the stuff that comes in your life.
And that's true. That mentality of having that same hunger every time you do something different is important, because that's where you get all the drive, the fire. Because a lot of times once we get, I don't want to say complacent, but once we get accustomed to some level of success, we kind of lose that fire.
Exactly. Yes. You lose that fire, and there are times where you need to rediscover yourself and redesign yourself. I could have stayed as a martial art teacher up until now and do nothing more with my life apart from being a good martial art teacher. But I took the decision, redesigned my life. And that is something that I think you need to do every once in a while, to redesign parts of your life for the better, of course.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Redesigning, relooking at it, reformatting, all comes from reflection, and it comes from things that people don't always think about. Because if we're doing the same thing and it seems moderately successful, we say, you know what, we're doing all right. But sometimes you could take that step back and re-look at it and say, you know what can I do to make this even better? What can I do to even take myself to that whole extra level? And that's where we see people with high levels of significance. That's where we see people taking their careers, their life, their families to a whole nother atmosphere and a whole nother hemisphere because of that. So what is something you've had everybody's overcome something, whether it's just a roadblock or something really tragic. What do you do when you hit these professional roadblocks? Something that tells you can't do it, or someone says, you know what, you're not good enough, or you stop getting those phone calls from those clients. Like, what is your practice to overcome that?
I'm a bit of a grounded guy on that, and I use activity. I am a big fan of using activity. You have to do stuff more. You have to look at the stuff you are doing. You have to judge them and see if they are working or not. You have to be willing to drop things that aren't working. And every day you bump into things that are difficult to do. Fear is something that is everywhere you go. I didn't know I could be a sales trainer and stand in front of people and talk about sales, and people would take notes, And I had to get over the fear. And the way to get over my fear was to eliminate time from the equation, I had to do stuff quickly, because if I let time in the equation, I would start to get afraid and thinking about things, and eventually I wouldn't do them. So I realized that I have to eliminate time from the equation in every situation that I feel I'm stressed or I have fear, or it's difficult for me to react.
And that's a good practice. Just remove it. Sometimes it's just easy to say, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm not going to do this anymore. Thus, I'm going to start over. I'm going to go in another direction. Sometimes sometimes you have to realize that things just aren't meant to be, and if they aren't meant to be, then you figure out what is meant to be.
Exactly. There is a great book that it's called The Startup J Curve. I don't know if you know it. It says that most problems in the entrepreneur world is that because the founders of the companies are too emotionally attached with their projects, and when the project doesn't work, do not morph enough. You have to morph your project in order to make it work. You have to be emotionally detached from your project so you can make the necessary changes. And when you get in front of things that you fear and you can't do them because of fear, just do them anyway. Just do them anyway. You don't have anything to lose. By talking to you here, when we finish this talk here, I'm not in Thessaloniki today. I'm in Komotini, in a small village outside Komotini. And after we have this talk, I'm going to go to a funeral. My wife's uncle has passed away last night.
Ooh, sorry to hear that.
And thank you very much. And these are all lessons to me. Time is so precious and so little. You have to do what you want to do. You have to believe, first of all, that you can do more. That's the problem. Setting too low goals and achieving them, and not setting high enough goals.
And that's one of the reasons why I started doing this leadership inner circle, this meet our community, because I do value time. I value the time of others. And I believe that having these kind of Facebook Lives, having it recorded, having it put on Facebook, having it put on YouTube for later reproduction, it allows people to understand that there's people across the entire world who want to help out. It's just not Michael. It's just not John. It's just not this person or that person. And these give us a chance to replicate our message. It allows people to see more of us and see positivity through social media, rather than one of those videos of somebody doing something where someone gets injured. And I believe that videos like this, Facebook Lives like this is what we're needed as a society to value that time, because the unfortunate thing that you do have a funeral to go to, but it helps you're taking another approach to it. You're saying, you know what, I'm going to look at time and value it even more now, because you never know when it's going to be over. So maximize it in order to see that growth, maximize it to add value to others.
Exactly, and I want to say about this live Facebook Live videos you do in the inner circle. I was so happy you called me in, and I watched all these videos from people from all around the world spreading their message. Some amazing people like the people you have on Adam Flores and Corinne Tilton and this other lady from the Netherlands, which her podcast was amazing. Her video was amazing. I think her name was Marlene. And this is something great. You have started something that is amazing, and it's spreading the word out there. And I'm sure all our followers here now will have something to gain from this video.
Absolutely, and if I can do that, then I'm accomplishing part of my goal. So, just what can people expect from you looking forward with your style of training, your style of coaching? What can people expect?
Well, I'm in the process of writing my second book now. My first book is called You Don't Know How to Sell, and it's in Greek, of course. And I'm writing the second book now. It's coming out, and I'm in the process of training more people in larger venues, such as the commercial group of a town called Drama here in Thessaloniki, here in Greece. And I'm looking forward to being in front of more people at once. And I think this is something that I will be striving towards in the season from September to next July.
Okay, absolutely. And we will have more Facebook Lives together. I promise you that.
Absolutely.
I have so many topics in my head, but I have to tailor it based on the time in my life, especially with my son, my other business, my church, so I have to balance my time as well. But as things come up, we will do more of these because I love the message that we spread, the positivity, the growth mindset, the ability to help people with sales and productivity that everybody looks for. And this is, once again, just another platform out of many that helps reach people and helps take them to the next level.
I really looking forward to it, and I will be watching you closely on the next weeks and months, and we'll be spreading the message.
Absolutely. Well, John, you've been great. Thank you for all those that logged in, liked it. I look forward to the future comments of this video. Obviously, if you guys want more information on John, look at the call notes or the event notes. He has his website on there as well as his Facebook page. Reach out to him, especially if you're in the world of sales and productivity, which I don't know which coach and trainer isn't into that part of their life. Also, he is from Greece. So anybody that's close to there or anybody that travels through there, that'd be a great connection for you guys. Sit down, have some coffee, have a little bit of lunch. Y'all talk about business. Y'all figure out how to collaborate. And I think that'd be an amazing way to explode this business.
I'm looking forward to it, and I want to say hi to all the people that will watch this video. And thank you again, Michael, for this opportunity.
Thank you. You guys all have a great morning. If you're in the U.S., have a great afternoon if you're over in Greece. And we look forward to seeing you on the next Meet Our Community.